edition.
So this is a new program where we choose a different section of library books from the library. We're going to try something new. So this time we have picked from the 641s, which if you didn't know is all of the cookbooks. And we are going to try this with the Instant Pot.
Today we're going to make an Instant Pot spaghetti recipe.
All right, let's get started.
All right.
As you can see, we have a wide variety of cookbooks, and the ones that we have here on display are specifically about the Instant Pot. This is only a few that Oxford County Library has.
And here we have our Instant Pot Ultra from our kitchen library. It's our 6-quart. And down below we have our Instant Pot Duo, which is the 8-quart. The Instant Pot Ultra has gives you a little bit more control over the settings than the Duo does, but the Duo is much bigger, and we are going to use the Duo today from the kitchen library.
All right, so what are we going to need for this recipe?
We are going to need seasonings, of course, onion seasoning, Italian seasoning, garlic powder. You're going to need a pound of ground beef. The recipe doesn't call for tomato paste, but we are going to put in a can of tomato paste just to give it a little bit of extra flavor. You need some diced tomatoes. You need a can or a jar of spaghetti sauce, and of course you need a package of spaghetti, as well as some water or beef broth, whatever is your preference.
If you're looking for a more simple recipe, the Instant Pot Bible has a really great, really simple spaghetti recipe. So today we are going to be using a slightly different recipe with a little bit more detail. And we have pre-measured most of our ingredients here.
All right, so what we're going to do first is we are going to start our Instant Pot. We're going to push the saute button because we need to cook our ground beef. So now we just have to wait until it heats up. Generally, it's going to beep like that. And then this will say hot once it's ready for you to add your ingredients into it. Okay, so our Instant Pot is reading hot. We're going to put in our meat. And in our meat, we got to add in our spices. Shannon, do you want to do the honors? So a half a teaspoon of each spice.
So this is a half teaspoon of garlic powder. Okay.
Perfect.
A half teaspoon of onion powder. And a half teaspoon of Italian seasoning.
Perfect. So we're just going to cook this until it's completely brown. Cooked all the way through.
And while it was heating up, it was on, what did you say, saute?
Yes.
With the lid
saute
off.
function.
I'm learning something each step of this recipe.
Okay, so our ground beef is all brown now, so we need to turn it off and then go and drain any of the fat that's on there. We don't have a lot of fat in ours. We did use extra lean ground beef, so there's not a lot of fat, but we are going to turn it off and go and drain what there is in there.
So we have drained the grease from our beef into one of the Oxford County FOG cups. So FOG stands for fat, oil, and grease, if you didn't know. We give these out at the Oxford County Library branches for free. So this is a good way to store all of those things so they don't go down your sink.
So our next step is to put the spaghetti in. This is a 900 gram package of spaghetti. We only need about a pound, so we only need about half of a package of this. So we're going to take it out of the package and you're going to break it in half. A lot of times what we find when you make spaghetti in an Instant Pot is it sticks together. So they recommend that when you break it in half, that you crisscross your spaghetti in the pot on top of your meat. So we're going to do that next. Okay, so here we go. And you lay it in there, kind of like that. And then Shannon, if you want to crisscross yours the opposite way over top of mine.
So then I'll go this way.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we'll go this way again.
I'm so interested to see how this works. I've never seen spaghetti be done in an Instant Pot.
It's going to be good. Okay, so there's that. So next, we have to add in the rest of our ingredients. So we're going to pour over the spaghetti sauce into here.
All of it?
Yep, the whole jar goes in. They want you to have a 24-ounce jar of spaghetti sauce or a can of spaghetti sauce.
Okay. And is the Instant Pot still off?
The Instant Pot is still off at this time, yes.
But it is still warm. I can feel it. Okay.
Then we're going to do our diced tomatoes on top of that. The liquid is what's going to help it cook as well as help it not burn to the bottom.
So this was slightly less than 2 cups of diced tomatoes. We'll add in all of that.
Perfect.
Okay.
And for thickening purpose, we are going to do just a couple of big spoonfuls of tomato paste. This isn't necessary, but if you want to add tomato paste and you're a tomato paste person when you make your own homemade spaghetti sauce, then feel free to just go ahead and do that.
All right. How was that?
Okay, and then now, last but definitely not least, we are going to add in our water. So there's 4.5 cups of water that you have to add in.
Okay.
And then we just want to make sure our spaghetti is pushed down in there so that it's completely covered in the liquid. Okay, so now that everything is in there, it is time to cook our spaghetti. So we are going to place the lid on top. And we are going to make sure that the nozzle is set to seal on the top. And then it says to set it to manual mode for 8 minutes. Now this particular model does not have a manual button. It has the pressure cook button. You want to make sure you press pressure cook. It's going to say high pressure. And then you just use the little plus sign to move up to 8 minutes. And it's almost like a crock pot where you set it and forget it for the most part. It will beep momentarily. There we go. So now what it's doing is it's going to pressurize. When it comes up to pressure, then it will start cooking and the countdown timer will come on. So now we gotta wait. While we're waiting for the Instant Pot to pressurize and cook our spaghetti, there's a few recipes that I love with my Instant Pot. I love making hard-boiled eggs. They take literally no time at all, and once you do hard-boiled eggs in an Instant Pot, you never go back to boiling eggs in a pot again because they peel amazingly. Cheesecake is also one of my all-time favorites, is making the Instant Pot cheesecake. Delicious. Took us a few tries, but we nailed it down.
That's so interesting, because when I think of this sort of machine or look at any of the books that we have, a lot of the pictures on the front are like savory dishes, more dinner type things. So that's really interesting that you can do some really awesome desserts with an Instant Pot.
You can do just about anything that you could do in a crock pot or really whatever. It's your all-in-one multi-use cooker.
Very cool. Last year with the Oxford County Library mobile truck, Leslie and I took it over to Soul Good here in Ingersoll, and we did meatballs completely from frozen in the Instant Pot and handed them out to promote the library and promote the kitchen library.
Instant Pot kept them warm the entire night. We just had it on the warming mode, so we just had to take the lid off and everyone got to try a meatball.
So if you're looking to try out an Instant Pot or look at any of the recipes, we do have some really fabulous books in the Oxford County Library collection. And we are at the 1 minute mark. 1 minute left on the Instant Pot timer.
Okay, so that means that it is ready. Once it beeps like that and turns off, it automatically flips over to the keep warm mode right here. As you can see, that light is on. So what we have to do now is flip the venting switch over to vent, and then all the steam is going to release. So I have got my hand covered because it is very hot. We just have to let all that steam escape before we can open the lid. So we're just waiting for the pressurizer pin, the pink pin that you see right there. We're just waiting for it to drop down in. Once it's dropped, then it's safe to open the lid because then all the steam has been released. The longest part of cooking with the Instant Pot a lot of the times is the pressurizing time, because that's not included in any of the recipes generally. Oh, there we go. So yes, it's taking that time for it to pressurize up before it actually starts to cook. That can take some time depending on how much liquid you have in there, whether it's frozen. All right, so now we just need to give this a really good stir.
Look in there, you can see it's Very hot. Bubbling, boiling. Smells amazing.
It does say in the thing that it's going to look a little bit liquidy, but then you just have to make sure that you stir it really, really well. And the bottom...
Noodles don't even look like they're stuck together. All right. That crisscross must be the trick.
I think that definitely helped, and I think once we get moving around, if there is any noodles stuck together, it should unstick them. Because usually you would cook spaghetti in a pot and drain it. Some people will rinse their spaghetti to prevent it from being stuck together. So yeah, this actually looks like it turned out quite well. There you have it, Instant Pot spaghetti.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for our Try This Instant Pot edition.
And stay tuned for upcoming Try This videos.
If there's something you'd like to see us try or a part of the library collection that you'd like to see us highlight, leave it in the comments and we'll hopefully make another video.
And we will be adding the recipe that we used today down in the comments as well if you have an Instant Pot and you want to give it a try.
And just a reminder, as of now, the Ingersoll and Tillsonburg Library branches are open for limited services. And stay tuned to ocl.net, that is our Oxford County Library website, for all updates and any hour changes or anything like that.
All right. Well, I say we go and have some lunch.
Sounds good to me.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Stay safe.